As it's getting extremely hot in the Southwest, coming up soon, and we've had extremely windy, dusty, dirty days, the first thing I'm going to do is just do basic maintenance on my air conditioner that should be done before the heat hits. And we're going to start with the air filter right over here. Spicy, did you make the air conditioner dirty with all your dust? Yeah, I bet you did. So right up there, that's where my filter is. You can see already that my grill is dirty because, you know, dust. And that guy, Fuego, what are you doing out here, babies? I'm gonna get a filter. So grab your new air filter. Of course, mine is a weird, awkward size because why not? So I can't buy them in a store locally. I have to order them. We're going to go up here and we're going to pull out the old one. So that's the difference right here. This is the old one. This is the new one. Obviously, white, dirty. Sometimes it doesn't matter that it's slightly brown, that could just be dust, but if you're having trouble seeing light through it, like that, that's definitely dirty. New one should look like that. See, there's definition behind it. Spicy, we're gonna get a new air filter, buddy. Okay, don't mess with the dirty one. They all have an arrow to tell you which way they go in, airflow. This is the return air, so the air goes up that way, so the arrow has to go up that way. I got the new air filter in. Yes, the grill is still dusty, but I can brush that off in a minute. Now, that's the basics. That's what you have to do every few weeks or every few months, depending on where you live. That you have to do. Do not hire somebody to do that. Do that yourself. Now, we'll get into the things that you should do yourself, but you might have to hire somebody to do it. All right. This bad boy right here, this is what we're going to get cleaned. This you can do by yourself. You don't need somebody else to do it, but you do got to do it this right way, or at least a non-stupid way. And the first thing is you got to kill the power. How do we do it? Right there. Go in here. You should have a box somewhat like this, and there'll be this pull fuse breaker thing. And all you do, just pull that out. We know it's not going to come on now. We're just going to leave it like that. We're not going to flip it over to off. We're just going to leave it like that and close the door. But not just there. We're going to shut off the breaker too, because double safe is double safe. This one. Next thing is you're going to take out the screws along the top that hold the fan onto the unit. And to do that, I just get any one of these kind of screwdrivers that you can put the little things in. Anyway, this, at least for mine, is the right size. Hi guys, Spice Man. babies. A couple of different ways for this. Because mine is so close to the wall, I'm just going to lean my fan up against the wall and not disconnect the wires. But you can disconnect the wires, and I'll show you where it's at. So back behind here, that's where you're going to have your capacitor and contactor and all that kind of jazz, and the wires that connect to the fan. So you're going to take this off. You got all that in here. You got your capacitor over here, this big cylinder thing. Most importantly, if you're going to be taking the wires off of the fan, of course I'd have to undo this bundle or whatever. You want to discharge your capacitor before you do that, because it could hold a very, very sparky charge. But to do that, probably you need to have a metal to metal. So you just basically go around there and, without touching it with your finger, take a screwdriver and touch metal to metal. Might hear a little pop or whatever. Either way, that's how you do it. Discharge the capacitor. I'm just gonna wait and make sure it's not charged. And we're gonna leave it propped up like this. We're gonna try to avoid touching the grill part and bending these little fins. You don't wanna bend these fins in, because then you're not gonna get anywhere near the airflow. But we gotta get in there, we gotta hose it off with water. Okay, when you start to use your hose, you want to get the water from the inside outward, because the air is being pulled in this way and going up, and that's where all the dust is coming in. You want to go out through here that way. This is why I say I'm not an authority on this. All right, get that off. Now we can get in there and hose that out. Should have done that to begin with. But you also want to avoid that. You don't want those to bend. I did not bend that. But anyway, don't bend your screen there. Still a bunch of debris down here. I'm going to try to just hand scoop the majority of that out. It was getting underneath, going through this little tray, and that was all blocked up. But after that, I think we should be good to just button it back up. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to let the water drain out a little bit more. Maybe I can scoop out a little bit more of the debris at the bottom. But other than that, all the coils, all the grill is all cleaned up. We're just gonna reverse what we did and put it all back together and let it dry for a minute or two, and then we can turn it back on. This again is why you should do this before it gets hot. Just saying. By the way, another not pro tip, but just a tip. If your fan stops working for some reason, or one of these other things isn't quite working, if you've already cleaned it, you already know it's cleaned, the fan's not working, a lot of times it's just going to be that capacitor, and they're super cheap. You don't have to have somebody do it. You just copy the colors, make sure you got the right capacitor, make sure that you discharge it by touching the metal together with something metal, not your finger. It's easy. There's thousands, hundreds of videos on YouTube. Otherwise you have this contactor issue, which that's okay. We're not going to worry about that. What you doing, Vision? Can't see you through the screen. You're just hanging out up there. There's Spicy over there. Hi, buddy. It's a bazillion times better in there. Got the majority of it out. couple little bits here and there, not going to worry about that. Let the rest of the water dry up in there and off the compressor. And yeah, looks pretty good. By the way, that only costs us time and water. Super cheap to do, easy to do. Do it. All right, that's it. Save there being any more huge windstorms for the season. I shouldn't have to do that again until next year. But fairly simple, and it's going. AC repair, maintenance. Do you hear it? You hear the air conditioner going, guys? Yeah. It's got a new filter.